Hey, what's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? It's your boy Chris. It's another amazing episode of Financipation. This channel is all about making money. It's all about saving money. It's all about building generational wealth. It's all about financially emancipating yourself from generational poverty. On this channel, everybody, I give you a six-figure MBA level with investing and financial knowledge for free here on YouTube, and things that people typically spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to learn in grad school, I give it to you for free here on Financipation. Also, before I get started, I also want to give a shout out to Kilica Solutions. They're one of my sponsors. If you need digital marketing, website development, or something to essentially edit your YouTube videos, they're the best in the business of meeting all of your digital needs. Please hit that notification bell so you know when I drop new content, okay? And I drop content every week. So in this podcast, people, we're going to talk about several ways to financially thrive in President-elect Donald Trump's economy. So with that, let's get started. So the first thing I want to talk about before we get started in this podcast is what are tariffs? I'm going to go over tariffs and how they actually will affect your wallet. So the textbook definition of a tariff is a tax on an imported good from another country. As the name implies, everybody, tariffs are literally taxes that are slapped directly onto incoming goods from other countries. And despite the bluster that we are hearing in the media, foreign countries, everyone, don't pay tariffs. They simply throw the cost of the tariff back onto the American businesses in the form of higher taxes and higher prices. And ultimately, we, the American people, have to pay those higher taxes in the form of higher prices. In other words, everybody, China, Canada, and Mexico, they ain't paying the tariffs. You, me, and the American people are. According to the Walmart CEOs, Lowe's, Costco, and Home Depot CFO, all these major retailers are essentially saying that they will be raising their prices roughly 25 to 60% to account for Donald Trump's tariffs. And for the record, Walmart imports 70% of their materials from China. 100% of our cell phones and laptops have materials that come from Africa, Europe, China, and other countries. And 75% of our oil essentially comes from other countries. Additionally, 99% of our clothes come from other countries. So everyone, just get ready, okay? Just get ready for tariffs. So the first way to thrive financially in Donald Trump's economy is to play the long game. Politicians, everybody, they come and they go, but the laws of compounding interest are undefeated. Presidents drive new policies and they appoint cabinets, but in general, the policies presidents implement don't directly affect our finances or the economy. For the record, I believe every American should vote in every local, state, and national election because elections obviously matter. And for the record, if you are a minority, people literally died to give you the right to vote. So in my personal opinion, you need to vote in every election. Having said that, things that directly drive the economy are typically outside of president's controls. They're macro events such as COVID, such as worldwide pandemics, such as terrorist attacks like September 11th, wars, geopolitical events, and yes, sometimes tariffs. So regardless of whether a Republican or a Democrat is in the White House, we have to play the long game and to some extent take the news with a grain of salt. So for the first way to thrive in Donald Trump's economy is to play the long game and to stick to the meat and potatoes of building generational wealth. And those meat and potato economic and financial concepts are lowering your spending, increasing your income, eliminating your debt, and investing into things like index funds, REITs, property, land, and real estate, and starting businesses. Next, the next way to financially thrive in Trump's economy is to save more money and to invest more. So if the federal tax rate, everybody, for you drops from 28% to 24%, which is what Donald Trump currently is proposing, then that in theory would mean more money in your wallet. And if you have more discretionary income and money in your wallet, that means you can afford to invest more of your money in theory. So please ignore the temptation to do stupid things like buy another pair of cowboy boots or buy another pickup truck or make it rain at the club or buy more Jordans or buy bottles at the club. As long as you qualify for his tax cuts, if President-elect Donald Trump does indeed cut corporate tax rates and you qualify for that tax cut, the next way to thrive financially in Trump's economy is to save more money and, more important, to invest more money. Next, the next way to thrive financially in Donald Trump's economy is to legally minimize your taxes and embrace the three pillars and max out your 401k, your Roth IRA, and your HSA accounts. Lower tax rates and higher deductions are most likely going to stick around after 2025, and tax changes are something that we're going to have to study and to keep an eye on, everyone. My advice, therefore, is that you should always be looking at ways to legally lower your taxes, regardless of whether there's a Democrat or a Republican in the White House. At the time of this recording, everyone, in 2025, you can invest approximately $23,500 into your 401k. At the time of this recording in 2025, you can invest approximately $7,000 into your Roth IRA. At the time of this recording in 2025, you can invest approximately $8,500 into your HSA account if you are married. So I call the HSA the IRA, and the 401k, the three pillars of building generational wealth, because all of them are essentially tax efficient accounts. And if a person maxes out all three of these accounts, it would total $39,500. And if they invested that into a stock that would turn around 10% and did that for 4 years, people in 4 years, they would have over $240,000 just in one presidency in that account. And they would have lowered their taxable income. So the next way to thrive financially in Trump's economy is to max out your 401k, your HSA accounts, and your Roth IRA, and to do that for all 4 years. Next, the next way to thrive in Trump's economy is to have a fully stocked 6 to 9 month emergency fund. People, Walmart's CFO is on record saying that they are going to start charging more money next year in 2025 for all their products because of Trump's tariffs. People, Lowe's CEO is on record saying they're going to start charging more money next year in 2025 for all their products because of Trump's tariffs. People, Home Depot CEO said they are on record saying they're going to start charging more money once again next year in 2025 for all of Trump's incoming tariffs. It should also be noted that Canada has said they will also charge more money next year for the gasoline they're going to be sending to our country because of Trump's tariffs. And Mexico is saying the exact same thing about the food that we eat. And a very large percentage of our produce and fruit comes from Mexico. I don't know how to say it, everyone, so I'll just say it simple, okay? There is a tremendous possibility that that if Trump's tariffs go through, that our food, our clothes, our gas, and our electronics are going to cost significantly more next year. So as a result of that, you should be tracking your monthly expenses. You should be determining how much money you are spending every month, and you should create a budget. And with that budget, you should basically be maxing out and figuring out what your emergency fund is going to be. And the next way to financially thrive in Trump's economy, everyone, is to have a fully stocked 6 to 9 month emergency fund, because with Trump's tariffs, once again, everything from what we buy from Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, and Costco is going to cost a lot more in 2025. Next, the next way to thrive in Trump's economy is to purchase a used car that has great gas mileage or buy a used hybrid. Now, this point applies primarily to the people who know they're going to have to buy a new car or buy another vehicle at some point over the next 4 years. And the first thing I'm going to say is this: never under any circumstances ever buy a new car. Always buy a used car that has less than 5,000 miles on it. So 10% of America's gas comes from the Middle East. 25% of America's gas comes from Canada. 20% of America's gas comes from Mexico. And less than 20% of America's gas we use for our vehicles and our gasoline comes from the United States of America. In other words, everybody, we import roughly 75% of the gasoline that we use and the oil that we use for our cars into this country. At the time of this recording, President-elect Donald Trump is threatening to slap a 25 to 60% tariff on Canada for allegedly bringing fentanyl into America. And Canada's PM has flatly said that if President Trump does slap a 25 to 60% tariff on Canadian goods, Canada will immediately respond by placing a 25 to 60% tariff on all American goods, particularly American gasoline. So if you're listening to this podcast right now, if President-elect Donald Trump's tariffs do go into effect, expect the gas for your car to cost about 50 cents more per gallon starting in January 2025. For the record, just to back up a little bit, according to a 2024 study done by the FBI, 99% of the fentanyl that Americans use is produced right here in America. In other words, there is no credible link between Canada and the amount of fentanyl that comes to America, and Americans die every year from fentanyl. For the most part, we are the ones producing it. I'll just get that out of the way. But to get back to what I was saying about gas, if the cost of gas is going to shoot up by about 50 cents more per gallon next year, but due to Canada slapping the cost of the tariffs directly back into the American consumer, my advice to you is simple. If you have to buy a car, you should look into purchasing a used, fuel-efficient 50 mile per gallon car or a hybrid that is great on gas, because the cost of gas is about to skyrocket once Trump's tariffs go into effect. And every dollar that you save on gasoline and fuel costs is one extra dollar, people, that you can invest into the stock market, into index funds, into your brokerage accounts, and into property, land, or real estate. Before I go any further, please hit the notification bell so you know I'm dropping new content. Please hit that like button, please comment, please subscribe. Those algorithm, and I thoroughly enjoy giving you guys free content, as I'm giving you an MBA level worth of investing and financial knowledge for free here on YouTube. Next, the next way to financially thrive in Trump's economy is to stay invested. So the market originally went up when Donald Trump was elected, and they have since started to drop precipitously since then. At the time I'm recording this in early 2025, and we honestly have no idea how Trump's tariffs are going to affect the stock market. Some people are saying it's going to go up. Some people are saying it's going to crush it. Ultimately, we have to figure it out. And we also have no idea how Donald Trump deporting 15 million people is going to affect the stock market. Once again, we have to see whether it's going to go up or whether it's going to go down. But my advice to everyone is this: keep investing, because if the economy does go up and the stock market does continue to raise, then congratulations, because you will continue to see the exact same types of gains on your retirement accounts that you saw over the last 4 years under President Joe Biden. Conversely, if the economy starts to tank because of Trump's tariffs, then congratulations, because all those index funds, all those REITs, all those bonds, and all those ETFs that you purchase for a certain amount, they're going to cost significantly less when you purchase them again. And historically speaking, buying things when they're on sale is always a good idea. And when the stock market tanks, that's essentially what you're doing. You're basically buying the same product you were buying last year, this year, for a significantly lower price. When eggs are on sale, buy eggs. When the stock market's tanking, buy as much stocks as possible, because eventually it does come back. In general, everyone, continue to stay invested into the stock market and utilize the tremendous power of compounding interest, because it is the greatest force in the universe if it's uninterrupted. So as long as you don't interrupt it, you don't sell your stocks, you are going to get your money back in droves. And the next way to financially thrive in Trump's economy is to stay invested into the stock market and to not sell your stocks. Next, the next way to thrive financially in Trump's economy is to ensure that you actually have healthcare. So at the time of this recording, President Donald Trump has promised to repeal the Affordable Care Act, otherwise known as Obamacare. Then he went back and said he's not going to do it. He's back and said he is going to do it. It's back and forth. And when it boils down to it, 50% of the individuals that actually currently enrolled into the Affordable Care Act are actually in red states that voted for Donald Trump. At the time of this recording, Donald Trump and the Republican Party have provided no legitimate plan about how they're actually going to replace the Affordable Care Act, otherwise known as Obamacare. In the 2024 presidential debate against Kamala Harris, Donald Trump famously said, "I don't have a plan. I have concepts of a plan." Well, if he gets rid of the Affordable Care Act, 55 million people are going to wake up with the idea of not having any more health care. And President Biden in 2023 implemented the Inflation Reduction Act. And one aspect of the Inflation Reduction Act was that it enhanced the premium subsidies of the Affordable Care Act. These enhanced premium subsidies reduce premium costs to our health insurance, and they make them more affordable. These are set to expire in 2025, and if they are not extended by the President-elect Donald Trump, then health insurance everyone is going to increase, particularly on our subsidies. Not to mention the fact when you have 55 million people running to emergency room and they don't have health care, the medical providers are simply going to throw the cost of those people directly back onto us who actually do have health care. At the time of this recording, we honestly don't know what's going to happen to the Affordable Care Act. So the best course of action, everyone, is to evaluate and to understand your health care options and to make sure you are doing the most responsible things for you and your family. Next, the next way to thrive financially in Trump's economy is to budget your money. So measure your spending, everyone, and measure what you are spending your money on. Most economists believe that Trump's tariffs will cause the price of cars, food, groceries, construction, cell phones, houses, and real estate to increase significantly. And this in turn could possibly cause unemployment and inflation to increase, just like it did in the 1930s with Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act. If this is the case, everyone, my advice is that you should create an up-to-date budget to track your spending, because this will allow you to see what you are wasting your money on, where you can cut back, and more importantly, how you can budget your money more effectively during the upcoming years where Trump's tariffs are going into effect. So another good thing about budgeting is that every dollar, once again, that you save allows you to invest that dollar directly back into the stock market, into index funds, into gold, into REITs, into ETFs, and into real estate, and allows you to essentially invest your money more efficiently. So it may sound rudimentary, everyone, but the next way to thrive financially in Donald Trump's economy is to create a budget and stick to it every month. Next, the next way to thrive financially in Trump's economy is to be wary of the new shiny objects and investment tools, otherwise known as cryptocurrency. So I've always been skeptical, people, just in general, about when billionaires and extremely loud, rich talking heads on financial shows like C-SPAN, Fox News, and famous cable news outlets tell me what to invest my money in, because these shock value shock jockeys essentially are typically driven not by caring about what I invest into, or not by caring about my returns, but they're more interested in basically driving up their ratings and getting you to buy their books and their financial products that they're being paid to sell and to advertise. In other words, everyone, their advice is typically garbage, and if you follow it, it was going to help those people pay for their kids' college fund, but it's going to pretty much make you broke. And the shiny new object that I keep hearing from guys like Elon Musk, Donald Trump, and a lot of these other talking heads I see on a lot of these cable news outlets is that right now you should be investing all your money into crypto. And I'm gonna be real with you. My personal advice is that you should avoid that at all costs. So Trump has said he will ease Bitcoin regulations and try to turn America into the worldwide leader in cryptocurrency. Well, the world's largest cryptocurrency is currently skyrocketing at around $90,000, and it can seem quite tempting to jump into this crypto gravy train before you miss out. My advice, once again, everybody, is to avoid this temptation at all costs. Firstly, crypto is extremely volatile, and it isn't backed by an economy or by any tangible assets. Secondly, crypto is rife with individuals getting their identity stolen and with people not being able to pull out the funds that they think they are owed. Look no further than crypto scam mongers like Ruja Ignatova and Sam Bankman-Fried that literally stole over 10 billion with a B dollars of crypto investments from their investors. And if President-elect does indeed lower regulations for crypto exchanges, people, I got news for you. That makes it easier for people to steal your identities, not harder. So the next way to thrive financially in Donald Trump's economy is to embrace the boring and to invest your money into the tired and tried and true investments like property, like land, like index funds that track the entire US stock market, and to avoid the flashy new objects like crypto and buying single stocks. Next, the next way to thrive financially in Trump's economy is to be as diverse as humanly possible. So diversification, everyone, is the best way to mitigate risks, and as long as you have your money invested into as many different accounts and in as many different industries as possible, the safer your investments, everyone, are going to be. For example, the main thing terrifying economists right now and the American consumer right now is President-elect proposing these stiff tariffs on imported goods from China, Mexico, and Canada. And as stated previously, Canada imports over 25% of the oil that we use to produce our gasoline. And if Trump imposes his tariffs on Canada, Canada is simply going to throw the cost of those tariffs directly back onto the American consumer. And most economists agree that our gas is going to skyrocket in 2025 if Trump's tariffs go through. If Trump imposes his tariffs on Mexico, Mexico is simply going to throw the cost of those tariffs directly back into the American people. And most economists agree that the cars and our grocery bills are going to increase significantly next year because of Trump's tariffs in 2025. And lastly, if Trump imposes his 60% tariffs on China, China is already on record saying they're going to throw the cost of those tariffs directly back into the American people. And most economists agree that as a result, our cell phones and our cars and our laptops are going to cost significantly more in 2025 because of Trump's tariffs. So tariffs, once again, everyone, are paid by the American consumer, not by China, not by Mexico, not by Canada, and not by other countries. And in theory, it could potentially tank the stock market and drive inflation, just like the tariffs did during the Hoot-Smalley Tariff Act in the 1930s. And one of the best ways, however, to mitigate these risks that is within our control, that is to invest into passively managed, low-cost, total stock market index funds that track the entire stock market, because they are made up of over 2,500 stocks on the U.S. Stock Exchange, and they are literally as diverse as possible. The second way to get more diverse is to purchase passively managed, low-cost, total stock market index funds that track international stock markets. And I would highly advise you also, third, to invest into real estate investment trusts, or REITs, that track all real estate in the United States. With that 3-fund portfolio, that literally makes you as diverse as humanly possible when it comes to the stock market, because you're spread across the entire U.S. stock market, the entire international stock market, and you also spread across the entire real estate and land industry here in the United States. And the next way to financially thrive in Trump's economy is to and put your investments into things that are as diverse as humanly possible. Before I leave, everybody, I want you to check out my podcast on tariffs, how tariffs work. You're going to pretty much see it bouncing up on the screen and everything. And this channel, everybody, Financipation, is all about making money. It's all about saving money. It's all about building generational wealth. And it's all about financially emancipating yourself from generational poverty. You can book a one-on-one session with me at any point. I'm not giving financial advice. Everyone on this channel, you must make responsible decisions based on the thorough, independent research that you do for yourself. Please check me out and follow me on www.therealfinancipation.com. Check me on Instagram, @thereal_Financipation. My Spotify is Financipation. My TikTok is Financipation. My Facebook page is Financipation. And check out some of my digital, my e-products below as well. Hit that notification bell. Please like, please comment, please share, please subscribe. Thank you, Killer Solutions, for all of these dope graphics. And it's your boy, Chris. I'm out. Peace.